So let's start with building block corner. Maybe we could start that like a new segment of like, things that you just need to know, whether you're just starting out on your financial journey, rebuilding, or just trying to figure out. And it's something that my son had asked me a while ago as far as like credit, like what is FICO? And I thought that, what I described it a while back was that I feel like FICO is your transcript as an adult. So like,
That's interesting.
as a child, you have a transcript in high school, right? And that transcript is vitally important because what that transcript says pretty much determines where you're going to go to college, right? So they're making decisions based off of your grades, 9 times out of 10, extracurricular activities, stuff like that. But they're making decisions based off of your grades and your report card for 4 years to determine what type of student you're going to be. Sometimes they're wrong, sometimes they're right, but that's what they're going to do, right? As an adult, your report card doesn't really matter. But what does matter is your credit score.
Yeah.
So your credit score, a bank is going to make a decision whether you're worthy enough to get a loan to buy a home, whether you can live in this apartment, sometimes whether you can get a job, whether you can get a car, whether you can't get a car, whether you're going to pay an extra $200 a month for the car, because they're seeing if you're a responsible person or not. And how they're determining your responsibility is based off of your FICO score.
Yeah. The interesting thing about FICO was like most people hear about it. They don't even know it's a publicly traded company.
And one of the best in the market, one of my favorites.
If you look at its charts over the past 5 years, you've seen how crazy it's going. But most people realize when it's too late, right? They'll figure out, I got to figure out my credit score. Who is FICO? And so the idea of bureaus coming together to give you a score that are really pretty much going to determine, like you said, that transcript of how trustworthy you're going to be, right? Like, can we loan to you, whether that's for a car, whether that's for a home, or whether that's for trying to get a job. Like that score is so important. And so when I'm looking at it, I'm like, how do they actually make money, right? So they don't actually sell credit scores. They actually license the algorithm for the credit scores. And if you're in any financial institution, people are going to track your credit scores. So they get to sell that over and over again. When do they make the most money? Well, when you see people actually trying to buy homes. And so when interest rates are low, when people are refinancing, you should watch FICO's chart. That's one of those tidbits that most people don't think about, but everybody has to use, especially if you're in America, right? If you're trying to invest, especially in real estate, or like I said, trying to get a vehicle, you're going to need that score. And once they know you need it and interest rates drop and money becomes more affordable to people, they're like, all right, well, this is a time that we should be watching this company. It actually reported last week. So these are those little tidbits that people don't talk about in finance that you should know.
One of the best performing stocks in the last 10 years. And on top of that, they have a quiet monopoly that most people don't think of. I've always been told to think of your FICO score as your financial trust score. And I think you guys both touched on it, but it's a lot of people who have been turned away from amazing careers because that score wasn't high. So it's really important. Kudos to Edwin. Edwin broadcasts it all the time. I feel about it. It's 8:50. So kudos to my brother. Yeah,
my brother.
MVP in all areas of life, yo.
And I think the last thing that is interesting about this is like, FICO, as you said, is a traded stock on the stock market, right? So what happened is that when it IPO'd in 1987. At $1 and 40 cents. 1947, $1.40. It's currently trading at $1,700.30.
Yeah.
But if you really look at the chart, it really started to go crazy. It really started to go crazy around 2014, 2012, let's just say 2010. After 2010, it started to take off tremendously, right? If you look at the financial markets, right, especially after the Great Recession, Dodd-Frank and all this, and it says a lot about the economy that we're in right now, the importance of credit scores. If you look at how the world was shaped in 1988, your credit score was a completely different metric of meaning as far as your life importance than it is in 2025. You can't even really live without credit score right now.
No.
So it says a lot about the times that we're in, but to put it in perspective, the stock is up 85,000% since its inception.
Power of long-term holding. Yep.
Insane.
It's up 85,000%.
And the importance of intellectual property that others cannot easily recreate.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about a stock that was up at $2,400. And so if you look at that peak, look at that pandemic run, right? From like 2019, where it's trading under 630 to that $2,400 run. That's an incredible run. And that was pulled back a little bit, right? There's some uncertainty, right? We've seen it over the past 3 years. We saw the market pull back in 2023. And so there's still some uncertainty. But here's one thing that's going to, until America changes the credit system, right? This is a company that's not going anywhere. And this is one of those companies that's, and you're going to need, you're absolutely going to need.
I mean, it's like, once again, Wu-Tang, when they said in 96, cash rules everything around me. And then we actually made that t-shirt when we first started, that cream.
Yeah.
Credit rules everything around me.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it happen in real time right now, how the monetary system has changed to become a pretty much cashless society at this point in time. And everything is run on credit. So understanding the credit rules. It's like the Clip song, FICO.
Yeah.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to them, man.
Stove God Cook.
Grammy nominated. I know that they talked about how important the Grammys were to them and Gwen won. They got nominated for 5 Grammys. I see them winning at least 3 or 4 of them. I definitely got it.
And honestly, one of the greatest campaigns of the last 10 years. Just like one long rollout of quality and video and music and fashion. Oh my. It's been a masterclass.
From a marketing standpoint, they had the best rollout that I've seen in years.
Easily.
Salute to them, Rock Nation, their whole team, because I've never seen somebody that, they would think that they was Michael Jackson as far as how many articles that they had written about him, and then, interviews.
The Vatican, bro.
They've performed at the Vatican. That's 100%. And just good people, man. Like, Mal is somebody that's been highly respected for a very long period of time. See him step away and then step back like he never left. Pusha T, somebody that we've run into a few times at our spot in Paris.
We
interviewed him for ethical liabilities.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? He's a super smart dude as far as getting money on the medical side.
Yeah.
With medical transportation companies, and he got a bunch of stuff from the McDonald's licensing deal. He talked about that before. So, these guys are not just successful for no reason. Like, they're really smart. Like, I think hustling, because the last thing I'll say about this is I think the Clips, they've solidified hustling, right? But hustling is not just a matter of, just hustling on a street corner. Like, you really got to stay up to the times. You got to be in tune with what's going on, and you got to actually have a sharp mind. So even for them to, like, that FICO, like you're talking about the stock FICO, like, that's like, you got to understand what's going on right now, because the world is moving so quickly that if you pay attention to trends, you could make money. Yeah,
and the best teacher has always been music, especially for us. Like, we grew up just listening to music and trying to learn things. So when I looked at the track list, I said FICO. I said, all right, this is something we got to tap into, man.